You're watching NASA TV.
Airlock on 1. With you on 1.
Good morning, and welcome to the International Space Station Flight Control Room.
5 and 1, 2.
This is the second radio frequency group retrieval EVA. EV1 and EV2 egress the airlock and proceed to the forward face of the truss. Heading port, the crew put down safety tether green hooks and continue outboard of the solar array rotating joint. EV1 goes to the 2 alpha beta gimbal assembly and secures a crew lock bag of tools. Using the pistol grip tool, EV1 releases 4 bolts on the H fixture and then removes it. EV1 then surveys the worksite. Meanwhile, EV2 goes to the solar array rotating joint and removes a cover, exposing a trundle bearing assembly. After disconnecting an electrical cable, EV2 uses the pistol grip tool to release 3 bolts and remove the trundle bearing assembly. EV2 photographs the surface, then applies lubricant to the rotating ring using a grease gun. Back at the beta gimbal assembly, EV1 continues a photo and video survey of the sites where an ISS rollout solar array modification kit will be installed on the future EVA. EV1 returns inboard to the camera port 8 worksite to adjust a cable interfering with movement of the camera light assembly. After lubricating the surface, EV2 installs a new trundle bearing assembly. EV2 then certifies the worksite. EV2 surveys the worksite before replacing the cover. From camera port 8, EV1 translates inboard, down strut, and temp stows the crew lock bag on the US laboratory. EV1 goes to the airlock, retrieves a different crew lock bag, and takes it to the external stowage platform number 2. EV1 retrieves a portable foot restraint and installs it on the robotic arm. Then EV1 ingresses the foot restraint and the robotic arm flies to the radio frequency group aft position. EV2 returns along the truss back to the airlock, stowing the large bag outside the airlock, and joins EV1 on the stowage platform. The crew work together to fold back the multi-layer insulation surrounding the radio frequency group. At the aft wedge clamps, the crew remove any rubber covering the clamp nuts using needle nose pliers. Then, using a ratchet wrench and a specially designed tool, they loosen the 5 aft wedge clamps. EV1 is then flown to the forward face of the radio frequency group, releases 4 structural bolts, then removes it from the stanchion. EV1 then flies it to the airlock, where both crew secure it inside. Back at the stowage platform, EV1 egresses the arm, removes the foot restraint, and retrieves the earlier temporarily stowed tool bag. EV2 secures the covering over the stanchion. Then both crew return to the airlock and ingress.
By taking a look at one difference on their suits. Today, Jasmine Moghbeli will be EV1, wearing red stripes around the legs of her suit. You can't see her right now as they are preparing to don the SAFER, the Simplified Aid for EVA Rescue. There she is. You can see that red stripe also on the top of her suit. Meanwhile, Laurel O'Hara will be EV2, or Spacewalker number 2, and she's wearing an unmarked suit, so no stripes around the legs or top of her suit. As mentioned, the team members inside the Quest airlock right now that are not suited, that's Andy Mogensen on the left of the European Space Agency and Satoshi Furukawa on the right of JAXA, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. And they are helping Moghbeli don her SAFER. This is the Simplified Aid for EVA Rescue. It's a compressed, nitrogen-powered backpack of sorts. This would allow a crew member to maneuver independently of the space station. It's primarily intended if a spacewalker became detached from the space station and needed to move back. However, crew members remain tethered at all times, and this is a precautionary measure. Today is the 4th all-female spacewalk, the first 3 being completed by NASA astronauts Christina Cook and Jessica Meir, and the first of those taking place 4 years ago on October 18th, 2019. Furukawa and Mogensen are moving Jasmine Moghbeli into the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock and out of the equipment lock portion. Her safer donning is complete. Meanwhile, they will begin that process on NASA's Laurel O'Hara. You can see her again. She's EV2 numbered today. She is wearing white stripes around the legs of her suit. In comparison to Jasmine Moghbeli wearing the red stripes on the outside of her suit, so you'll be able to keep up with who is who once they're outside the space station. It looks like Furukawa and Mogensen are conducting some final checks after attaching the safer to Laurel O'Hara's suit. They will start moving her into the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock. Once we get closer to the start time of the spacewalk, they will close the hatch between the crew lock and the equipment lock portion and begin bringing the crew lock portion of Quest down to a vacuum.
Andy,
Go ahead.
will I take the depress pump and I still have to close on your call or when I see SARJ on my DCM?
Well, when you see 5, you can take it to
Okay,
closed.
copy. Okay, I've got it J-close hook lock, black on black on the airlock D-ring extender. Okay, and I've got a small hook on my right waist, on my right D-ring extender, gate closed, lock, black on black. I have my safety tether hook, gate closed, black, locked, black on black, going to my red reel. Copy. And I got it up here, red reel is unlocked. The large hook of my red reel is going to my green reel. The closed lock, black on black. Okay. The small hook of the green reel is on the red reel. The closed lock, black on black. Okay, and I can get it from there. I see your anchor hook. The closed hook lock, black on black. My waist tether. A closed hook lock, black on black. That waist tether goes to my right D-ring extender, and that is gate closed hook lock, black on black. Okay, and from my left side, let me get my safety tether. Okay, so my red hook is on my left D-ring extender. 8 closed hook lock, black on black. My red reel is unlocked. The green hook is attached. It is unlocked as well. My yellow hook is going to my green reel. That is gate closed hook lock, black on black. The green reel is unlocked. And I have the anchor hook on my mini workstation. And that should be it. You can also call my waist tether if you'd like. On the left side, goes to my left D-ring extender, gate closed hook lock, black on black. And, yep, that's it.
EV crew, Houston, good, tether config.
Copy. Copy. Good work. So, will we go sun visors down here? I have mine up and it's fine right now. Okay.
Yeah, you're only about 12 minutes from a sunset, so it is going to get a little dusky. For Laurel, as Jaws works the tethers, your first step is going to be to hand out crew lock bag key, Papa, and a reminder that in this initial, as we hand out these initial bags, the large smalls are going to stay in the airlock.
Copy. Okay, my safety tether is on the aft D-ring extender, gate closed, hook lock, block on block.
Copy, your anchor is on the aft external D-ring. You can attach Laurel's anchor, EV2's anchor, to the forward external D-ring.
Good work.
NASA astronaut Jasmine Moghbeli is the first out of the hatch this morning. Again, she is EV1 today. You can tell because she's got red stripes around the legs of her spacesuit. Meanwhile, EV2 Laurel O'Hara will have no stripes on her spacesuit. These will give us a view from their perspective throughout the day.
Okay. EV2 is egress. Okay, and as we're coming out, I see your 3 tabs up and your left paper handle down. Copy. My race tether on the handrail. Copy. All right, let me know when you're ready for the bags.
And we did copy those buddy checks, and we see you both out of the airlock. Welcome to space.
Thanks, man. Pretty incredible. Blowing my mind. Copy. Copy. Okay, EV2, I'm looking at my race tether and starting translation. Copy, I'll be behind you. I'll watch your tether. Okay. It's my big bag. Yeah. I'm watching it. I'm on the feeder rail. I see you. I'm coming over your tether. I'm clear. My tethers are clear. Confirm. You look good.
And Jazz, you're heading to that starboard airlock toolbox and opening up the zenith door.
Copy, I'm on the starboard one and zenith door in work.
And Laurel, as you head out to the Green Hook location, mile marker 9180 is what you're looking for below the FHRC, and reminder not to fair lead before you get there.
I'm under the MT on the other side. Stop feeder rail, headed outboard. I'm coming up on the starboard feeder rail here in a moment. How's the MT today? I say easier than NBL. Nice. Yeah. Good news. Yeah. Problem.
Laurel O'Hara and Jasmine Moghbeli have begun their translation out to their first work sites of the day. They will be split up on these first tasks. Moghbeli is heading out to work on the H fixture.
I'm at mile marker 8760. TBA bag is just off to my left. Copy. I'm coming up on the port seat of cart. Okay, I have a fare lead on 5138.
Copy your fare lead. You're going to move nadir, looking for 5208.
Copy.
And 5208 might be a good spot to change your body orientation to be looking toward the mast canister, and then we'll be translating onto the mast canister.
Okay, copy.
After the 4 bolts are released on this H fixture, Moghbeli should be able to remove it with by holding a tether point.
I've got a good count. My battery is 41.3.
Okay, we copy Laurel. For Laurel, your settings are alpha 4, counter 2. And a reminder on the bolt nomenclature, it looks like you're heading toward the right one, so the farthest away from you and to the right is alpha 1.
And I've got alpha, counter 2 set.
Alpha 4, counter 2 set. Okay, so for these ones, we're going to be doing bolts 1B and 1A. Those are the two next to the tether point that you're at. Exactly 8 turns.
Okay, on bolt 2, released 1 additional turn. And I don't know, I might just be giving myself extra work. It might have already been released as well.
All right, we copy. And as that cover comes off, Laurel, a reminder, the first thing that we're going to want to do is kind of check for any of that metal flakes or damage to the race ring or anything else that you see as you get your eyes on.
Copy.
Counter 2.
3.
Counter 2. Bravo 2, counter 2.
Okay,
And we're about 20.
Counter 2 set, and then
Good read, and you're going to go exactly 1 turn. We're about to go into a handover, but you're going to do 1 turn on bolts 3, then 1, then 2. 3, 1, 2.
copy. Copy 3, 1, 2. I have my cuff checklist open itself. And okay, copy.
Also, one note for you, Jaz, as you move to the outboard side of that mast canister, you may be toward the end of your safety tether reach. And so as you translate around the inside when able.
Around the inside. Okay, copy. Okay, and I've got that crew lock bag. I'll head over to the other side.
We copy.
A great view of both astronauts outside at their respective workstations. Down at the bottom right, with the red stripes around the bottom of her spacesuit, is NASA's Jasmine Moghbeli. She's EV1 today. On the left, with no stripes on the suit, is Laurel O'Hara, who is EV2. Again, both spacewalkers on their first expedition outside the hatch today.
And Jaz, before you leave that work site, and Laurel, can you confirm that that PGT torqued on bolt 1?
I have, it did. I didn't get one turn on it, but I have a green light and actual torque says 13.8.
Okay, so understand on bolt 1 that you did not get one turn?
No. Not one full turn. Okay, I've got a local down. I'm just doing SW Laurel. Copy. My camera's hot here. Let me go get that.
Okay, and Laurel, we understand that
I'm getting my visor up tonight.
That the PGT on Bravo 2 did not give you one turn for bolt 1. So you are go to set Bravo 5, counter 2 for bolt 1, one turn.
All right, I've got a wipe ready, and I've got the grease gun ready.
All right, copy.
J-hook.
Awesome. Reminder
now
that
I will leave the straight grease. I'll leave the straight line in the back for now.
Okay, that works. Reminder that the grease will flow as soon as the shutoff knob is rotated. So you've got your dry wipe ready, and that the grease is probably going to sputter and pop. You do have steps for using and safing the gun on step 4. I can read these through to you each time, or you can do them on your own once we do them the first time. So the first thing on the J-hook grease gun, you're going to engage the teeth by rotating the plunger 180 degrees so the black triangle's up. Cable excess, so that's what we're going to try to fix.
Okay, copy.
Meanwhile, Jasmine Moghbeli is going to be working with this Ethernet cable to tie that closer to the International Space Station structure.
And for Laurel, when that gun is ready, you're going to be greasing the outer canted surface and the datum A, that flat surface. Also about 3 clicks with the gun trigger, prioritizing where the TBAs would be installed, but greasing that whole exposed surface if you can.
Okay, copy, and that's 3 clicks on the datum A and 3 clicks on the outer scan.
That is correct.
That's correct. Or 3 clicks total.
3 on each.
All right, I've got a nice line of grease down on both those surfaces.
That's excellent. Thanks, Laurel. You can go ahead and safe that straight nozzle grease gun.
1, clockwise 2 steps, having 12 to 14 turns.
That's right, and just to,
and say again.
Yeah, 12 to 14 turns on draw bolt 2. And
bolt number
2.
Okay.
And you can push from behind if you need to. And just a reminder that slight side loads can torque out an alpha 1 setting, so just be real careful.
Okay, copy. And where did my bag go? Didn't I sell my bag on 3683?
And that's the one that was called out, but I think you may have stowed it a little bit more outboard toward Laurel's work site.
I'm 056.
Copy, we appreciate that. Back to plan A, we can install that cover. 1 turn by hand on each of the bolts, the 4 bolts that are not by the tether point.
See. Right, serial number. I'm kidding.
And as you get this on, we recommend you start with 3A, which is the farthest one away from the tether point.
Okay. Working my way and got my VRT again.
Just over 4 hours into today's spacewalk. Again, that's starting at 7:05 a.m. Central Time.
Transfer lead on 252.
Okay, and if you just look up and left, we're just seeing your safety tether. Maybe that's your expected routing, but your safety tether kind of goes up above your head, and then it's just kind of cut a little bit on the MLI on that strut. So just
This view from Moghbeli's helmet camera as she works to remove the MLI or multi-layer insulation cover from the RFG. You also heard McLean reference the SASA, that's the S-band antenna subassembly.
And Jazz, as you're accessing the RFG, this will be our first look at that Z93 paint. If you have any words on the condition of it, or if you see any flaking, just let us know.
Okay, copy. I'll take a good look. So far, it looks pretty good.
Copy.
Now at 4 hours and 45 minutes into the spacewalk, O'Hara has completed the trundle bearing assembly
removal. Okay, and do you have a good view of the aft side of the RFG where those wedge clamps are?
Stand by one.
Copy, and for Laurel, you're heading back to the airlock, picking up the bolt pullers that are on the toolbox on the way.
Okay. yeah, I see it. It was caught in my BRT. Okay, yeah, it's clear now. So, I think I need to undo my BRT. Thanks. I think I've got it from here, though. Okay, copy.
And
can you say one more time? Do you want me to try an RFG wrench before I pack this bag?
no, we're just going to pack up that bag, but we would like to ask you for a couple of photos of that aft part of the RFG before you put the MLI back on, and then we'll get everything back into the crew lock bag, and then we'll kind of undo everything we did with the MLI, tacking those quarter turn fasteners back down, moving the AET, and then we'll be heading back in.
Okay, copy. Right, and EV2 is back in a good config.
Excellent, Laurel. Nicely done. So if you want to assist with the RFG cleanup and getting the MLI back over, you're welcome to translate out to the nadir side of ESP2.
Copy.
And Laurel, when you get a chance, I forgot to ask you, when you egress the airlock to do a safer handle check, we can see your left one is down, but if you can do a right safer handle check for us, please.
Okay, copy. Down.
Copy, good check, thanks.
Hey. Do you want to work your way around the other side, and I can follow you on these? Yeah, that sounds good. I was just going to try to get one on so it's big, but... Okay. Let me grab my tether.
Coming up on 5 hours and 45 minutes into today's spacewalk, which started at 7:05 a.m. Central Time, Jasmine Moghbeli is reinstalling some multi-layer insulation covering over the RFG. That's the radio frequency group. The crew members are essentially wrapping up their tasks for today and will begin starting to move toward the airlock soon.
Okay, 2 of the 4 are done on this side. Okay, copy. Let me get these 3. I got 2 on this side. Copy. Okay, copy. And I'm just going to stay put here and not move. Copy, Laurel.
Copy, Laurel.
The beautiful blue Pacific Ocean below Jasmine Moghbeli here as she works on the RFG, the radio frequency group.
I thought I could go through this way, but I think I'll have to go back around.
Okay, and we do not need all of those fasteners, but you just need to grab that large small that should be right next to your right hand.
Yeah, I've got the large small. You want me to go back around and check on the quarter turn fastener? Well, do you know, was the MLI pretty tight? Like, on the side I was working on? Yeah, were there any gaps by where that quarter turn fastener was? No, it was tight. That's what was making it difficult to turn the quarter turn fasteners, because you couldn't pull it tight enough. Yeah, you needed a little bit more slack in it to get the quarter turn fastener centered in the hole. Okay, let me know if you're good with that or if you want me to go back around.
And we are good with that, Jaws. Thanks for the good check on that. So you can pick up the large small, and then we'll have you trace your path back to lab handrail 252.
Okay, and I've already got the large small.
Copy. Your go to translate back.
6 hours since the spacewalk started today at 7:05 a.m. Central Time, Jasmine Moghbeli is heading back to the airlock to reunite with Laurel O'Hara, already inside, as they prepare for final ingress and repressurization. As Moghbeli heads back to the airlock, a recap of what was accomplished on today's spacewalk. Moghbeli started by removing the H fixture in preparation.
Just retrieving my adjustable equipment tether from the fairleads.
Moghbeli started today by removing an H fixture, which will allow for future installation of an IROSA, or a rollout solar array. Meanwhile, O'Hara removed a trundle bearing assembly. The team encountered some difficulties, and Moghbeli was able to assist in that task. O'Hara then placed lubricant around the solar array rotary joint before installing a new trundle bearing assembly. These solar array rotary joints help turn the solar arrays to the sun to gather power for the space station. Moghbeli also reconfigured an Ethernet cable to bring it closer to the station structure, and ground teams confirmed they're not seeing any issues they'd previously been experiencing when moving a camera in that area. O'Hara completed a get-ahead of reconfiguring the starboard crew equipment translation aid cart brake handle. The crew then turned their focus to the radio frequency group. It was not fully removed as planned, but surveying that area has put it in a good configuration and helps the team better understand what can be done to remove it on a future spacewalk.
Looking good. Okay, I see your waist ring. Then tighten, let me tuck in. Yes, tucked in. Okay, and very good, the thermal cover.
Yep, good call. As you ingress, we'll close that thermal cover, and whenever you have a free hand, you can turn off your HECA.
Copy.
As Moghbeli prepares to close the thermal cover, if you look down to the bottom left of the screen,
you'll release the hook from the stowage tether point and attach it to the magnetic plate D-ring and cinch until 6 lines visible.
Copy. And Laura, let's see. My cones.
this thermal cover being closed right now is not the airlock hatch itself. That opens inward. We had a view for a moment from Jasmine Moghbeli's helmet camera. Once this thermal cover is secured,
let me get my HECA.
Copy, and we'll just make
HECA is off.
Copy, and we'll just make sure the magnet is engaged, and then release the hook and move it over to the
repress continues.
magnetic plate D-ring.
Let's take a look at some of the statistics from today's spacewalk. It started at 7:05 a.m. Central and ended at 1:47 p.m., meaning it was a 6-hour and 42-minute spacewalk. It is the 269th spacewalk in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. It's the 12th spacewalk from the space station this year and the second for Expedition 70. Total spacewalk time for Expedition 70 with one Roscosmos spacewalk and one US is 14 hours and 23 minutes total. It's the first spacewalk for both O'Hara and Moghbeli. Again, total time of 6 hours and 42 minutes. And the total spacewalk time for all 269 spacewalks in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades is 1,710 hours and 49 minutes. That's equal to about 71 days, 14 hours, and 23 minutes of spacewalking time. And the hatch is now open between the crew and equipment lock. That's NASA astronaut Laurel O'Hara being helped back into the equipment lock portion first. As O'Hara and Moghbeli are helped out of their suits, another recap of the tasks accomplished today, a complex spacewalk. First off, Moghbeli removed the...
Would be appreciated.
Satoshi, that's in work.
First today, Moghbeli completed removal of the H fixture, which allows for future installation of an IROSA solar array. That's a rollout solar array. Meanwhile, O'Hara worked to remove a trundle bearing assembly, then lubricate the area before installing a new trundle bearing assembly. This is on the solar array rotary joint that helped rotate the solar arrays to keep track with the sun. Moghbeli reconfigured an Ethernet cable, and the ground teams confirmed that was successful, and they have no conflicts with a camera that is in that area. O'Hara also completed a get-ahead, reconfiguring the starboard crew equipment translation aid, also known as the SETA cart, working on a brake handle in that area. Ground teams also confirmed that the trundle bearing assembly O'Hara installed today is working as planned. The crew moved on to work on the radio frequency group, but did not have enough time to remove it as was previously planned. But the teams on the ground now have a better understanding of the configuration of that area and will make plans for a future spacewalk.
Jaws and Laurel Houston, you are no longer hot mic'd. Welcome back and congratulations.
Both crew members are back in the equipment lock portion of the Quest airlock. Andy Mogensen in the center of the screen. He is current ISS commander and assisting with the suit doffing today. Again, today's spacewalk, 6 hours and 42 minutes, the first spacewalk for both O'Hara and Moghbeli. And with both crew members, Laurel O'Hara and Jasmine Moghbeli, back inside the International Space Station's Quest airlock and their helmets removed, we are going to wrap up our coverage for today. Again, today's spacewalk for these two, it was both of their first venture outside the hatch, totaled at 6 hours and 42 minutes. A successful spacewalk accomplishing some very complex tasks for the International Space Station, and we look forward to the next opportunity to see the work done outside the hatch. This is Mission Control Houston.